Mercedes' insane new upgrade for Russell just revealed that changes everything for 2025. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is why Mercedes wants Antonelli and Russell to grow into F1 and make mistakes with huge upgrades coming in 2025. On the face of it, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff carefully downplaying expectations surrounding rookie driver Antonelli seems like a typical piece of off-season noise. Very little of it would provoke angry debate in the sanctified halls of the Oxford Union. If you expect Antonelli to be on pole position in Melbourne, win the race, and immediately compete for the championship, then the risk is high because that won't happen, Wolff told Automotor und Sport. If we take into account that he is only 18 years old, very talented, but needs to grow and make mistakes first, the risk is less. Even Wolff's old sparring partner Christian Horner wouldn't argue with the logic of this proposition. Isaac Newton wasn't right about everything. He lost a chunk of his fortune in the South Sea bubble after all. But, famously, when he assumed a seated position under an apple tree, he wasn't expecting its contents to fall upwards. If Antonelli were to place his car highly on the grid for the first round, win a few races, and be in contention for the championship at the end of the season, he would be the first rookie to do so, since the guy whose seat he's just taken. And the competitive circumstances of that season, 2007, were very different. The question then is why Wolff should trouble himself to state the bleeding obvious. Are there expectations which need to be managed? Perhaps not in the broad spread of the fan community or the paddock itself, but at board level, the Mercedes-Benz Group retains a shareholding alongside Ineos magnate Jim Ratcliffe and Wolff himself. The wisdom of Antonelli's promotion will be called into question if results fall short of expectations. While the popular perception is that Antonelli had a somewhat unimpressive rookie season in Formula 2 last year, there were mitigating circumstances behind his apparent early pace deficit, and several incidents which cost him positions. More troubling to those in the know was the way he pushed too hard, too quickly, when he drove a current Formula 1 car in public for the first time in FP1 at Monza last year. The impression was that here was a young man in too much of a hurry to prove himself. Wolff's original plan was for Antonelli to contest a second F2 season in 2025 and then replace Lewis Hamilton in 2026. But during all the contractual push-pull in his last renewal, Hamilton saw this coming, sent out feelers to Maranello, and made his own deal to depart on a date of his choosing. With Plan A now consigned to the round filing cabinet, Wolff had to shuffle through his least disagreeable options, in which promoting Antonelli a year early trumped hiring a stand-in. So Wolff's messaging is entirely consistent with keeping the pressure off Antonelli, telling the stakeholders and a team accustomed to the previous occupant of that seat, making very few mistakes, to expect a few bumps along the way while throwing a protective, if slightly cautionary, arm around Antonelli's shoulders. Competitive circumstances have also provided Wolff with a smokescreen in case of further disruption. The second story is Max Verstappen news. F1 champion reveals shock Mercedes transfer talks. In a surprising revelation, reigning Formula 1 champion Max Verstappen has confirmed that he held discussions with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff during the 2024 season, fueling speculation about a potential move to the Silver Arrows. This bombshell comes amid a turbulent year for Red Bull, where both on-track struggles and off-track controversies dominated headlines. The 2024 Formula 1 season was anything but smooth for Red Bull Racing. Despite Verstappen ultimately clinching the driver's title, the team faced significant internal turmoil. Team principal Christian Horner was placed under investigation following allegations of inappropriate behavior toward a female colleague. While the matter was eventually resolved internally, the controversy cast a shadow over the team during critical stages of the season. Throughout this period, Verstappen remained publicly committed to Red Bull, but rumors of his dissatisfaction began to swirl. With Mercedes making several public overtures, the possibility of Verstappen leaving Red Bull became a hot topic in the F1 paddock. In a recent interview with Viaplay, Verstappen admitted that he engaged in discussions with Wolff during the season, though he stopped short of suggesting a move was imminent. The Dutchman emphasized that such talks are not uncommon in Formula One, but reaffirmed his loyalty to Red Bull. "You always talk to each other, and I'm not lying that we sat together. That in itself is not a problem either, I think," Verstappen revealed. "In the end, it's still very nice where I am now. I think we have had very constructive conversations. I think everyone has always been very open and honest with each other, but on the other hand, I'm also very loyal to my own team." Verstappen's comments highlight his contentment at Red Bull while leaving the door slightly ajar for future possibilities. "I just feel at home there, so then there's not a lot to gain at the moment. I'm still very young, so a lot can happen in the future as well." Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has long been vocal about his admiration for Verstappen's talent, and his public pitches during Red Bull's tumultuous period only added fuel to the fire. With Lewis Hamilton nearing the end of his storied career, Mercedes has been exploring options to secure a successor capable of maintaining their championship pedigree. While Verstappen's current Red Bull contract runs until 2028, it reportedly includes an exit clause, allowing him to explore other opportunities under certain conditions. For Mercedes, securing Verstappen would represent a seismic shift in the F1 landscape, potentially revitalizing their dominance after a challenging few seasons. Despite the intrigue surrounding his talks with Mercedes, Verstappen reiterated his deep connection to Red Bull. Since joining the team in 2016, Verstappen has grown into one of the most dominant drivers in F1 history, spearheading Red Bull's resurgence to championship glory. His loyalty has been unwavering, even during challenging periods. At just 27 years old, Verstappen remains in the prime of his career and has the luxury of time to consider his options. For now, his focus appears to be on continuing his success with Red Bull, a team where he feels at home. The revelation of Verstappen's talks with Mercedes underscores the ever-shifting dynamics of Formula One. Driver-team relationships, even among the most successful pairings, are never static. For Mercedes, the prospect of Verstappen joining their ranks is tantalizing, particularly as they prepare for the eventual transition from the Hamilton era. The third story is Toto Wolff claims he could have never asked Lewis Hamilton to leave Mercedes, despite Kimi Antonelli back in his mind. Lewis Hamilton's legendary career with Mercedes came to a poignant conclusion last weekend, marking the end of one of the most successful partnerships in Formula One history. Having been a part of Mercedes since his junior racing days, Hamilton's contributions to the team include 6 world championships and countless iconic moments. His departure, however, opens a new chapter for both Hamilton and Mercedes, with team principal Toto Wolff shedding light on the circumstances surrounding this monumental shift. Hamilton's exit from Mercedes was almost unimaginable, given his deep ties to the team and their shared success. Since joining the team in 2013, Hamilton and Mercedes have dominated the hybrid era of F1, redefining excellence in the sport. However, as Mercedes began to struggle under the new regulations introduced in 2022, cracks in the partnership slowly began to appear. Hamilton's frustrations with the team's inability to deliver a championship-caliber car became more evident with each passing season. Despite these challenges, Wolff maintained that removing Hamilton from the lineup was never an option. "I couldn't make the decision from a personal standpoint," Wolff admitted. "We owe him so much." While Wolff was adamant that Hamilton's departure would not be forced, he revealed that the team had a potential replacement waiting in the wings. Kimi Antonelli, a rising star and member of Mercedes' junior program, was always in the back of Wolff's mind as a future contender for Hamilton's seat. Antonelli, widely regarded as one of the most promising talents in the sport, has been groomed for an eventual step into Formula One. "It was something that I almost had in the back of my mind that would happen," Wolff said, referencing the inevitability of a generational shift within the team. While Wolff didn't explicitly say Mercedes was pushing Hamilton out, it's clear that the team was preparing for a future where Antonelli would play a central role. Hamilton's decision to leave on his own terms may have eased the transition, sparing Wolff from making a difficult choice. Announcing his departure from Mercedes after the 2024 season, Hamilton cited a desire for a new challenge. Many speculate that his move is fueled by the belief that Mercedes may no longer be capable of delivering a championship-winning car under the current regulations. Although the team has made strides in improving its performance, it has struggled to close the gap to rivals like Red Bull and Ferrari. Hamilton's decision also allows him to maintain control over his narrative, leaving the team as a legend rather than being phased out. Wolff acknowledged the mutual understanding between the two, suggesting Hamilton may have recognized Mercedes' need to look toward the future with Antonelli.